26, 1937. During the Spanish Civil War, the ancient town of Guernica was attacked by German warplanes. After destroying the town in a 3-hour bombing raid, the planes machine-gunned fleeing civilians. April 26, 1944. Federal troops seized the Chicago offices of Montgomery Ward and removed its chairman after his refusal to obey President Roosevelt's order to recognize a CIO union. The seizure ended when unions won an election to represent the company's workers. April 26, 1986. At the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in the Ukraine, an explosion caused the meltdown of the nuclear fuel and spread a radioactive cloud into the atmosphere, eventually covering most of Europe. A 300 square mile area around the plant was evacuated. 31 persons were reported to have died, while an additional 1,000 cases of cancer from radiation were expected. The plant was then encased in a solid concrete tomb to prevent the release of further radiation. April 26, 1994. Multiracial elections were held for the first time in the history of South Africa, with approximately 18 million blacks voting. Nelson Mandela was elected and the FW de Klerk vice president. April 27th. April 27, 1865. On the Mississippi River, the worst steamship disaster in U.S. history occurred as an explosion aboard the Sultana killed nearly 2,000 passengers, mostly Union soldiers who had been prisoners of war and were returning home. April 28th. April 28, 1789. On board the British ship Bounty, Fletcher Christian led a mutiny against Captain William Bligh, setting him and 18 loyal crew members adrift in a 23-foot open boat. Bligh survived a 47-day voyage, sailing over 3,600 miles before landing on a small island. Christian sailed the Bounty back to Tahiti, eventually settling on Pitcairn Island and burning the ship. April 28, 1945. 23 years of fascist rule in Italy ended abruptly as Italian partisans shot former dictator Benito Mussolini. Other leaders of the fascist party and friends of Mussolini were also killed along with his mistress, Clara Petticci. Their bodies were then hung upside down and pelted with stones by cheering crowds in Milan. April 29th. April 29, 1992. Riots erupted in Los Angeles following the announcement that a jury in Simi Valley, California, had failed to convict 4 Los Angeles police officers accused in the videotaped beating of an African-American man. April 30th. April 30, 1789. George Washington became the first U.S. president as he was administered the oath of office on the balcony of Federal Hall at the corner of Wall and Broad Streets in New York City. boxing champion.